You are listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast series. My name is Andrew Mackay-Smith, and the interview subject that you've tuned in to hear is the one and only Max Cavalera. The reason for the conversation is to promote Max's appearances in Australia in 2017, performing cuts from the album Roots, that great big album that was released in 1995 by his former band Sepultura. Incidentally, he is touring Australia alongside of his brother Igor. Should be a treat. So let's have a listen to what Max has to say. Here we go. 29 official releases since 1985's Bestial Devastation EP. And I might add, your brother is 14 in since the same period of time. What are your thoughts as you reflect on 32 years of recorded music history?
It's been great. I mean, it has changed a lot. You know, we started analog, and, you know, the early recordings were all analog, and now since the beginning of the 2000s have changed to Pro Tools. But the spirit is the same. The way we make records is the same. I think we still have the same spirit that we did when we did the analog recordings, which is a band playing together and recorded like that. So I think that's the best thing, is just the songwriting, the spirit being the same. Technology cannot affect that, you know. And I for one, I think it's good to work with Pro Tools, but just don't abuse it. Like, some people abuse Pro Tools, but yeah, sure. I think if you use it the right way, it's good for you. It's a good tool to have, you know.
Yep.
But we still believe a band needs to be a band. I mean, they need to play together, and they got to know their parts, and you got to be ready for to write powerful stuff, and to be able to come up with powerful stuff in the studio. That's the same. That the technology has never, it didn't change that, you know. So the spirit is the same. So I think that's great, you know.
Yeah, sweet. And mate, you are touring Australia with your brother, playing Sepultura's groundbreaking Roots in September. Now, I still see so many faded spiky S tattoos on fans in Australia, and when I ask them when they got the tattoo, the typical response is around 25 years ago. So, mate, if you can believe it, that's a quarter of a century. You have endeared yourself to Australian audiences over the years, there's no doubt about that, but are you aware of how revered Sepultura, and indeed both yourself and your brother, are in Australia?
Yeah, I think it's we have an idea, you know. I think it's quite very powerful, and I think the shows are going to be amazing. I'm very excited for, especially because it's a celebration of this very special record, Roots. We are playing everything from, you know, the first hour is the whole record entirely from beginning to the end, just like the order of the album. And we got, you know, everything on it with the berimbau and the percussion and the tribal sounds and the punk songs, yeah. The classic songs. It's a full-on experience for the fans. And so far we took this thing on tour in Europe and America and South America, and everybody loved it. You know, it's being packed everywhere, and the feeling people get after the show, because we talk to a lot of them, we do a lot of meet and greets, and everybody really loved it. They really, really loved it.
Yeah.
What we brought to them on this tour. But for me it's great, because I think, like, normally you make a new record and you go tour for the new record, and this is not that. We're not making a new record. We're playing a record it's been recorded 20 years ago, and it had 20 years for the songs to be in people's life, you know, and a lot of them are almost like soundtrack of people's lives.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's very powerful. And it's fun. I'm telling you, like, playing with Igor again and playing those songs, like, some of them bring us back to the 90s, and
cool.
It's great, you know. The whole experience, the whole nostalgic feeling that you get is great. And he also had a big impact on the works that we're doing right now. The new Cavalera album was heavily influenced by the Roots tour.
Yep.
Not musically, because I think the Cavalera album has nothing really to do musically with Roots, but in terms of energy and power and adrenaline, the power and adrenaline from the tour was translated into the record. So it's a very exciting record. And I think the excitement comes from touring, the Roots tour. So I think that's great that we're able to translate the excitement of the tour into the album. And I'm very happy that happened. I think that was a great thing that happened. So I think the record comes out in October, a month after we were in Australia. But we are very excited for the new album.
Excellent,
and we're
yes.
also very excited for the Roots tour, I don't get tired of playing the Roots songs. They're just great songs. They're real powerful, real solid songs, and every night it's just a great thing to go out there and scream those words and sing those songs and play those riffs. For me, I feel it's a privilege to be able to do that,
Yes, and on the Roots album, there is a track called Look Away, and it features both Jonathan Davis and Mike Patton, and it is probably my favourite track on the album. And for the listeners' benefit, and I'm sure they know this, but I'll just mention it, but Davis is in Korn, and of course Patton is in Faith No More. Now, I distinctly remember Billy Gould wearing a Sepultura t-shirt around the Angel Dust era, and I was thinking at the time, who is that band? It was effectively how I got into Sepultura, but can you share a little bit of information about what the relationship has been like between yourself and the members of Faith No More over the years?
Yeah, we're all good friends, in fact, just on the last U.S. Roots tour, we were in San Francisco. Mike Patton came and sang "Look Away" with us, and it was amazing. It was one of the best guest vocal things I've done live in my whole life. And I've done a bunch of them, I've done Tom Araya and Corey from Slipknot and Deftones. That one with Mike Patton is one of my favorites of all time. It was so cool and just so great having him on stage he has such a unique voice and a unique stage presence. He's a character, And so they were all big fans. Billy was a big Sepultura fan. So he wore our shirt before nobody knew who we were.
Yep.
And I'm a big Faith No More fan. I think Angel Dust is one of the best records ever of rock.
Yeah, likewise.
It's in my top 10 favorite rock albums of all time. Just a fantastic record. Very, very innovative, different, brilliant. And it's cool to see the Mike still doing stuff, with Dead Cross and
yes,
still doing projects and very active with his label and everything.
Yep.
And he's a great guy, he's just a great guy, just a big friend of ours, and it's really cool to see that,
Yep.
Hopefully we get, we're going to be on tour with Skin Tread. Maybe we get Benji to do some. Maybe
awesome.
Do some Rata Mahata with us. Would be really cool. He's also a real colorful performance. Really, really amazing performer, and it would be kind of fun to get him out there and do some stuff with him.
Yeah, sweet. Before I continue, mate, I just want to offer you a compliment from me personally. I'm going to ask you to cast your mind back to the Roosevelt Hotel in Los Angeles in January of 2001. You and I actually met, and we spent about half an hour talking to each other. You probably don't remember it because you've met tens of thousands of people over the years, but yourself and Devin Townsend at the time were the two, when I say rock stars, you know what I mean, the most famous musicians that I'd met at the time, and both of you couldn't have been more congenial to me, mate, and you in particular. I think I had to ask you to wait and talk to my brother, who's decidedly not a metalhead whatsoever, and talk to him for 5 minutes about skiing or something, whatever he was talking about, whilst I went and got a pen to grab your autograph. So I just wanted to thank you for doing that, because I think those sort of interactions, I was only a very young fella back then, and those sort of interactions do give you heart, and it gave me a sense of belonging, if you like, to the Sepultura tribe and to the Cavalera tribe, if you like, and I've been a very happy listener of your music ever since then, I must say. So I just thought I'd share that story quickly for yourself and for the listener.
Yeah, you're welcome, and I try to spend time as much as I can with some of fans, and whenever I see them, airports or hotels or things like that, it's always fun. It's always cool to meet another, person that shares the same love of metal. Because I myself, I'm still a fan, even though I'm a musician and play in a band. But doesn't change the fact that I'm a metal fan. You know, I love new bands. I love discovering new bands and wearing their shirt and helping them out. I'm a big supporter of heavy metal. You know, so for me, every chance I get to talk to some people about metal, it's always fun. It's great. You know, there's you know, there's a lot of rock stars in this business. You know, and we see them, and it's kind of like a lesson for us. Like we don't want to be like that. You know, we don't want to act like that. You know, so for me, it's better I like the humble part of it. Stay more humble, stay more grounded. You know, and just stay more connected to what you love, with your metal and the music that you play. You know, for me, those are the most important things. It's like my family is really involved in metal. You know, I have my wife is my manager. My son plays drums in Soulfly. I play with Roots with my brother. So it's a big family event. You know, so I think that's great. You know, and I think I see more people doing that. You know, other bands like Gojira have brothers in it, and I think that's really cool, and I'm really happy for them. So, but in the end of the day, it's just I really just love being a metalhead. You know, that's what comes down to it. You know, I love being a metalhead, and I love playing metal. You know, it's my life, is what I'm here to do, and what I'll do until I die. You know, so you know, I don't expect anything else. You know, that this is what I do. You know.
Yeah, cool, mate. And look, just in the interest of time, I've got to wrap things up pretty soon, but I do have 3 questions that I do ask all of my interview subjects, and I'm really fascinated to hear your responses here to these 3 questions, Max. So the first question, and by the way, I do host an R-rated program, so your answers can be as not safe for work as you like. Max Cavalera, describe yourself in 3 words.
Energetic, passionate, and gotta have something negative. Hard-headed.
Stubborn. There you go. Hard-headed, stubborn. Nice, mate. All right. Okay, next question.
Yeah.
And this will be interesting, I reckon, because you have had a fantastic career. But, mate, sorry, I'll get to the question. It is, if you could go back to when you were 18 and give yourself some advice, what do you think you'd say?
Well, it's not much. I mean, probably really enjoy, you know, what you're working for. Because I think a lot of times we didn't get to enjoy what we were doing because there's a lot of chaos, a lot of turmoil, and a lot of bullshit going on.
Yep.
Especially around the Roots era and the Chaos AD era, and we didn't get to enjoy much of that, of the success of those records. And but there's not much we can do about that. I think that's just life, you know. I'm glad I had a second chance to do it with Igor now, so I get to enjoy now playing those songs and be in a good state of mind and be in a positive state of mind rather than a negative one, and enjoy it, you know. So yeah, I think I would just probably tell myself to try to enjoy the moment a little more, you know.
Okay, yeah, great response, mate. Yeah, really good. A lot there that, well, just that statement alone, just enjoy the moment. I think we can all take something away from that no matter what we do in our lives. I'll get to the next question. It's my final question of the discussion. Here we go. What 5 guests, living or dead, from any time in history, would you invite to dinner?
Well, I think that would be cool to have dinner with it'd be really insane if you had together probably Keith Moon, Sid Vicious, Bob Marley, Lemmy, and Dio.
Nice.
I think that would be a great dinner party, right?
Oh, mate, I wouldn't want to see what the alcohol bill would be like at the end of that one. I think you'd only need Bon Scott in there to top things off.
Yeah, it'll be definitely heavy.
Awesome, mate. Mate, I better let you go. I've been told I've strictly only got 15 minutes. I really want to thank you for the music that you've created over the years. Congratulations on a wonderful career too, by the way. I don't know if it's possible, mate, but I'd love to have a beer or a beverage with you or a coffee, whatever it is you drink these days when you get down here to Australia, but I'll definitely be at the show.
Sounds good, man. We'll meet you there, right?
For sure, mate. No worries. Okay, all the best.
Thanks, mate.
Take care, brother.
You have been listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast series. My name is Andrew Mackay-Smith, and that interview subject was the one and only Max Cavalera. Thank you so much for listening.